A reading from Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods, and you do not worship the golden statue that I have set up? Now, if you are ready, when you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, drum, and entire musical ensemble, you should fall down and worship the statue that I have made. But if you do not worship, you shall immediately be thrown into a furnace of blazing fire. And who is the God who will deliver you out of my hands?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to present a defense to you in this matter. If our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the furnace of blazing fire and out of your hand, O king, let him deliver us. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods, and we will not worship the golden statue that you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar was so filled with rage against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that his face was distorted. He ordered the furnace heated up 7 times more than was customary, and ordered some of the strongest guards in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to throw them into the furnace of blazing fire. Then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished and rose up quickly, and he said to his counselors, "Was it not 3 men that we threw bound into the fire?" They answered the king, "True, O king." He replied, "But I see 4 men unbound walking in the middle of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the 4th has the appearance of a god." Nebuchadnezzar said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him. They disobeyed the king's command and yielded up their bodies rather than serve and worship any god except their own God." Friendships are so important in all our lives. They make life enjoyable, and when times are difficult, friendships make life bearable. It's true that friendships are tested and strengthened by hardships. In today's reading, we hear about the relationship of 3 young Jewish men deported to Babylon along with Daniel. And they are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Their story helps us to reflect upon the true meaning, I think, of friendship. As much as these friends meant to each other, they never allowed their friendship to take over God's place in their lives, not even, it would appear, in the face of death. Together, they silently resisted Nebuchadnezzar's order to fall down and worship the image of gold. They shared a courageous act, while others, eager to get rid of them, told the king that the 3 Jews were being disloyal. When Nebuchadnezzar heard this, as much as he wanted to spare them, he could not, because to spare them would have brought shame upon himself. This was the moment of truth. Death was about to end their friendship. A small compromise would have allowed them to live and go on enjoying each other's friendship, serving God and serving their people while they were in a foreign land. they were also wise enough to see that compromise would have soured the very conviction that made them such close friends. We hear how they did not hesitate to place their lives in the hand of God. For Christians everywhere, it is important that we don't leave God out of our relationships, because God can and will meet our needs the only way that God can. Today, the 9th of April, is the day that is set aside by the Church of England to remember Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was born in 1906 into an academic family. He was ordained in the Lutheran Church. He moved to America, but later in his life he was banned from teaching and he was harassed by the Hitler's regime. But he very bravely returned to Germany at the outbreak of war in 1939. His defiant opposition to all the Nazi Party, all that they were doing, led to his arrest in 1943, and indeed to his death in a concentration camp on the 9th of April, 1945. These two stories speak of commitment, of love, of faith, and even of hope. What do they say then to us in a modern world where people are so concerned with themselves? Society is rather more inward-looking today. God is less important than the need to look after and care for one's own personal needs. We are in the season of Lent, and we are looking forward, yes, even looking forward to Good Friday and then to Easter Day, that great celebration of Christ's resurrection. A season of sadness, but then there is joy, and then there is hope. But first, we must experience Good Friday with the pain and loss of parting as Jesus dies on a cross, that instrument of torture so often used in the time of Jesus. Take a moment to think of Mary, Jesus' mother, as she stands at the foot of the cross and sees the suffering of her son, a child she has carried, delivered and loved, and now has to say goodbye to. Will life ever be the same for her? But if we look closely, we know that Jesus was with her. And then she finds that there are others with her too. A new friendship group is being formed. The seemingly random collection of friends and family at the foot of the cross that day were not people Mary perhaps would have chosen, but they were there for her in a time of crisis. Jesus turns to her and says, "Woman, here is your son," indicating John, the beloved disciple. And he turns to the disciple and says, "Behold, your mother." This is more than a kindness for his broken-hearted mother and friend. Jesus here is starting something that reimagines what mothering, what family, and what friendship is all about. And now Mary and John are joined in a committed friendship. To be a good friend, we need to give of ourselves. There is a wonderful book called The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran, and I want to finish by reading what he has to say about friendship. Speak to us of friendship. And he answered, saying, Your friend is your need answered. He is your field, which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. And he is your broad and your fireside. For you come to him with your hunger, and you seek him for peace. When your friend speaks his mind, you fear not the nay in your own mind, nor do you withhold the a. And when he is silent, your heart ceases not to listen to his heart, for without words in friendship all thoughts, all desires, all expectations are born and shared with joy that is unacclaimed. When you part from your friend, you grieve not, for that which you love most in him will be clearer in his absence, as a mountain to the climber is clearer from the plain. And let there be no purpose in friendship, save the deepening of the spirit. For love that seeks aught but the disclosure of one's own mystery is not love, but a net cast forth. Only the unprofitable is caught. And let your best be for your friend. If he must know the ebb of your tide, let him know its flood also. For what is your friend, that you should seek him with hours to kill? Seek him also with hours to live, for it is his to fill your need, but not your emptiness. And in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. And in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. May your heart too be refreshed in friendship. Amen.